Every morning it's the same thing. I go to the kitchen, sit down at the dinner table. My breakfast always tastes funny when my mom gives it to me, so I refuse to eat it every morning and pour my own bowl. We get in the car. My mom straps me in extra tightly. My sister sits next to me. She has a nervous smile on her face. I get to school and I have to see the counselor. He doesn't even do anything, just gives me a glass of orange juice, asks how I am, then after a brief chat sends me to class. He seems worried too, like he's scared of something. As I walk to my class, I can see everyone looking at me, whispering to their friends about me. After an uneventful day at school, I walk home. I go to the kitchen to get a snack. I can hear my parents upstairs arguing. My mom says they need to deal with me, that I need to go. As I grab the box of cereal, I notice a plastic bottle behind it labeled risperidone. I knew it. I knew they were trying to kill me. I can hear them coming downstairs now. They must know I am home by now. I grab a kitchen knife and sit, waiting for them to get into the kitchen. It's been 5 years since she visited me, a shimmering glow of angelic light. I didn't know what she was, but I knew she was not of this world. She presented me with a choice that forever changed my life. I could have one of 3 gifts: the gift of strength, the gift of persuasion, or the gift of knowledge. I chose the gift of knowledge. Immediately, a flurry of information came to me. The answers to every math question, every event that would ever happen, the results of every lottery and horse race, even those that hadn't happened yet. I knew everything there ever was to know. Now I'm bored. There are no challenges anymore, no studying left. I breezed through college and university. Completing a month's work in less than a day was easy for me. I've gotten 5 promotions in less than a year. I now have a wife and 2 children. Although I knew it was going to happen, I knew everything. I can't change anything though. I have to stay the course, not interfere. She told me that was crucial. Every day, my feeling of dread gets worse and worse because while my wife sits beside my son and daughter and helps them with their homework, I can't get the image out of my head of her being dragged out of the house in handcuffs, 2 small body bags trailing behind her. Alrighty, Frank. We've been here before, Jerry said, lighting up his Marlboro, taking a drag and kicking up his recliner's foot. You already know you can't do nothing to me.
My name isn't Frank, you fucking idiot,
Death said. What am I supposed to call you? You ain't never told me your name.
Death. My name is Death,
he said, pinching the bridge of his nose with his fingers. That's not a real name. That's just your occupation. That's like me calling myself construction worker, Jerry retorted, punctuating the last words in air quotes. Jerry had been like this for as long as Death had known him, which was near 2 decades now. In fact, the first time Death and Jerry had come into contact, Jerry was supposed to die. That day, the then 29-year-old had fallen from the 2nd floor of a job site he was working on. He'd gotten up, said he was fine, and went home. He was not fine, and Death came for him that night. Jerry woke up at 2:38 a.m. with the worst headache he had ever had and saw in the corner of his room what was seemingly a businessman. Death was a tall, sharply dressed man in a black Louis Vuitton suit. He was focused on his watch, presumably a Rolex, and clicking his tongue anxiously. When Jerry tried to focus on one part of his face, the rest of him blurred and shifted. "What are you doing in my room?" Jerry slurred, his vision blurry.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Death,
the man said.
I've come to take you. It's your time.
Jerry bolted upright, head suddenly clear. No, I'm not gonna let you.
What?
You seem like a lawyer to me, so no, I don't give you my consent. That means you're not allowed to take me, right? Death was too stunned to speak. No one has ever done that before. It's always just begging, sometimes even resignation. It baffled Death. The worst part was that Jerry was correct, and Death quintuple checked the rulebook too. Since then, Death had regularly appeared to Jerry. Once when he had bad pneumonia, then it was another fall, very early congestive heart failure, etc. And it was always the same. Jerry would say no, and then he'd recover. Death was growing tired of this game.
I'm only here to tell you, Jerry,
Death stared,
that I will win. Sure you will, Frank. Sure you will. Are you happy now? Extremely. That 18-wheeler sure did a number on you. So, Jerry,
Death said, perching on the end of the ICU bed with his legs crossed.
Do you still want to live? Quadriplegic, unable to walk, move, go to the bathroom on your own?
Jerry's response was just a ragged breath.
No need to respond now, sweetheart. I know what your answer will be.
Death extended a cold, thin hand.
So, shall we?
Hey, Margaret, where the hell is Dave? The question caught her off guard.
Now that you mention it,
she said after a moment of intense thought.
I don't know. Where the hell is Dave?
They looked at each other for a moment. When was the last time you even saw Dave? Nathan said. Was it the baby shower?
He was there, but I feel like we saw him after that too,
Margaret said.
I feel like we haven't spoken to him in weeks. Where the hell is Dave?
She started rifling through her couch, looking under every pillow and cushion alike. I don't think he's in our couch, Margie.
No, Nathaniel, I'm looking for my phone,
Margaret said, right as she grabbed it from underneath pillow number 7.
I'm calling Susan.
Hey, Margie, what's up?
Have you seen Dave recently? Nate and I can't...
What do you mean you haven't seen Dave? Where the hell is Dave?
That's what I'm asking.
Margaret shouted and hung up. She sighed.
Susan hasn't seen him either.
This is all so strange. Where the hell is he? Nate said, sitting down next to his wife.
I'm going to the bathroom,
Margaret said, suddenly standing up. She exited the lounge and she walked down the east hallway, the long one to the right of the main staircase. She stopped, staring at 2 identical doors on either side, unable to remember which one the bathroom was. She picked the right door.
Dave, there you are,
Margaret exclaimed, walking towards the side of the bassinet.
I was worried for a moment.
She took the baby from the bassinet, slightly swollen from the putrefaction process, cradling Dave's tiny body against her chest.
You've certainly made a mess, haven't you?
She said, looking down at the small crib mattress encrusted with the foul liquid that little Dave produced. She started to undo her bra strap but realized quickly that no milk would come.
I'll whip you up some formula then. I'll be right back,
she said, placing Dave back into his fabric coffin and leaving the room.
What was I doing again?
She thought as she rifled through the kitchen cabinet.
I can't remember.
She slowly replaced the things she'd taken from the cabinet. Celery salt, dried oregano, her bottle of chlorpromazine, and the salt shaker.
I'll just turn in for the night. I'll probably remember in the morning.
Making her way up to the bedroom, She tucked herself into bed, flicked off the lamp, and wished Nate, who was somehow already there asleep, a good night. It was only later, after a few weeks, that she turned to her husband and asked him a question.
Where the hell is Dave?
"911, what's your emergency?"
Hello? This is Chief Branson. I've got a burglar in my home. He's armed. He shot my son.
"Chief Branson?"
Yes, the fucking chief of police. It's Officer McCluskey, the burglar.
"Oh, an officer. Is that... One moment. Donald McCluskey, badge 40921?
What? I don't know. He's in uniform, and he's...
I'm sorry, Mr. Branson. We're gonna have to contact Officer McCluskey's union rep before
Are
we
you fucking serious? Fuck the union. He's going to kill us. My family. I'm your CO. I'm everyone's CO. I'm ordering you to send every goddamn available officer.
The abusive language is unnecessary, sir.
What the fuck?
Please hold.
Shit. What happened, honey? When are they coming? They put me on hold. What? Is that normal? No, I don't know. How's he doing? He's lost a lot of blood. He needs an ambulance. I swear to
Mr. Branson, have you harmed Officer McCluskey in any way?
Why does that... I tried. 6 shots, center mass. 1 in the thigh. He bled, but he smiled. There's something wrong with him.
Okay, just so I'm clear, you're freely admitting to firing on a law enforcement officer?
He was in my house. He shot my son. Please, send a bus and units.
Is your son an officer with the department?
What? No, he's 12.
Was your son armed when Officer McCluskey defended himself?
Defended? He broke into my goddamn house and shot my son while he was playing a video game.
The officers on the scene aren't reporting any sign of a break-in.
They're here? Where the fuck are they? McCluskey's still outside our bedroom, rattling the doorknob. Did you hear that? He just said, stretch them, pull them, hear them pop. Honey, there are dozens of squad cars outside, but they're all just waiting. Fucking send them in.
Sir, calm down.
Don't tell me to... Oh, what the fuck? His face is pressing through the door. I could see it in the wood. How is that possible?
Mr. Branson, Officer McCluskey's union rep is insisting on an official adjudication under 15B of the bylaws. It may be weeks before I can authorize an intervention. Of course
A few weeks?
Sir, that will depend on
This
the
is
result of the adjudication.
unbelievable. My son is bleeding to death. He needs help.
Officers are reporting a traffic congestion in your neighborhood that is preventing EMS from reaching your residence.
It's all the fucking squad cars. They're all just standing and staring.
Sir, there's an active shooter and we have to prioritize official safety.
Honey, the door. What? No. Stay the fuck away from... Jesus. No, please. Stop. Stop. What the hell are you? What do you want? He's in agony. Just let him... No. Let go. Help.
Sir? Mr. Branson? Please hold. Mr. Branson, the union has decided to not take action at this time. You're welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon. This is Kimberly from Never Better. Am I speaking with Carl Hawthorne? Yeah. Excellent. I'm calling to inform you that your subscription for the Never Better synthetic lung system has not been renewed within the 30-day grace period. Unfortunately, this violates our terms and conditions, and your Never Better subscription will be terminated immediately. What? There must be a mistake. I thought my subscription was good for a year. It's only been 5 months. Let me just check here. According to our records, you received the notification which states our new policy of monthly renewal, and we received your electronic signature as well. No, I never signed anything. What are you talking about? We have your digital thumbprint on file, which, as stated in the updated terms and conditions, is how Never Better will be collecting signatures for our customers' convenience going forward. I don't believe this. I've been authorized to initiate termination. After you expire, a representative will arrive to retrieve your Never Better synthetic lung system for redistribution.
Wait, please, can't I renew?
Once you violate the terms and conditions, the only way to renew is to become a premium member.
Okay, yes, sign me up for premium, please.
One moment while I transfer you.
Never Better Premium Services, this is Eric. How can I help you today? I need to sign up immediately. Absolutely, Mr. Hawthorne. Let me just check the database. I see that your heart is in good health. That's a great start. Yes, but it's my lungs, that liver too. Well, we can certainly work with that. Congratulations, your premium membership has been accepted. Our representatives will arrive shortly to harvest the agreed-upon organs and install your new Never Better heart and Never Better liver. Wait, what are you talking about? I didn't agree to that. I understand. Would you like me to transfer you back to Kimberly to commence termination? No. Splendid. Welcome to Never Better Premium. Unfucking believable. And one more thing, Mr. Hawthorne. Yes? Don't forget to renew your subscriptions. Time has a way of collecting its debts. I was chosen from a young age, taken away from a life that now seems like an eternity ago. Only the old man had spoken to me while the others were busy disposing of my family's bodies. You weren't like them. You were like us. Gifted, meant for greater things, he had said, kneeling down to my level. They were only holding you back. With that, he had guided me into the night, leaving everything I had ever known behind me. He had been right, though. I was gifted in a way that few are. They showed me how I could be anywhere at any time I choose and taught me how to hone my ability. He's ready, someone had said after a few years. Tell him the boy is ready. And I was brought before the old man, who smiled at me fondly. This is what we live by, he told me, placing a worn leather book into my hands. Inside, the yellowing pages were filled with seemingly random dates and places. I don't understand, I had said. Give it time. What will be has already been. What has been will always be. I was there that night. I brought them with me to the house. I listened to the screams from outside with the old man. He placed a hand on my shoulder, sighing deeply. You've done good, my boy. I know this was not easy for you, but I'm proud of you. He stared at me, expecting a response, but I bit down harder on my lip, fighting back tears. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a very gifted young man to meet. You may go now. It always happened like this. I was tasked with bringing them to when and where they needed to be, but it began to weigh heavily on my conscience. Countless people were killed, solely because of me. I began trying to sabotage the operation, but it was like a cruel joke. No matter what I did, I always played right into the hands of fate. You're troubled, my boy. He sat across from me, studying my expression. A righteous anger had filled me. I'm not doing this anymore. It's murder. All this time, and you still believe you have a choice in the matter? We exist to create order and balance. He had smiled, placing his scarred palm over the worn leather book. There is no escaping our purpose. We'll see about that. He remained calm, even as I pointed the gun at him. This cannot be undone. Remember that, he whispered, closing his eyes. The first shot knocked him to the floor. The second backfired and blood bubbled from my injured hand. Beside him, the book was open to the last page. I looked down at it, breathing heavily. The very last entry was today's date. Beneath the message was written, "Our end is our beginning." When I was younger, I was afraid of death. I know, everyone is scared of death. But with me, it was different, more intense. Some people would call it a phobia, an irrational fear. Anxiety over death and the uncertainty of the afterlife consumed my every waking moment. I tried everything I could think of to extend my life. I prayed to every god I could think of. I tried every experimental medication I could get my hands on, and I tried every ritual I was able to do. I spent my whole life trying to prevent death, but I continued to age. I was devastated every time a new sign of my age popped up. Every gray hair, every wrinkle, every trip to the doctor was a tragedy. Had I wasted my life trying to prolong it? I thought all my hard work had failed. I wish all my hard work had failed. I don't know how long it's been since then. I just know everyone I cared about is long gone. My muscles have broken down so much they're completely useless. I can't see, I can't hear. My decaying flesh is draped loosely around my frail bones like a blanket. The rotting, unhealing wounds that cover my body house thousands of maggots. I should be dead. I'm barely even human anymore. But some cruel thing is keeping my soul tethered to this decomposing mash of flesh and bugs. When I was younger, I was afraid of death. Now, it's the only thing I can hope for. What made you kill the baby?
Don't say it like that. It sounds awful. I never meant for it to happen. I swear to God, I'm not a killer. I'm a good person. That's what all my friends would say about me. I've got 2 other children who both love me very much.
You didn't answer the question.
What question?
What made you kill your baby? I coughed, and when that didn't elicit a response, I said, answer the question.
I can't believe we're still on this topic. Do you know how many times I've been asked this question? What do you think, huh? Don't you realize how stressful this whole ordeal is for me? I mean, I can't deal with this.
She turned her head away from me to face my associate. She wanted her to give her an out. That wasn't going to happen. Martha, none of us are going anywhere until you answer the question. Why did you kill your baby? She sighed and her sight turned mean when she looked at me.
Stop asking me these stupid questions. What's wrong with you? Stop being so passive-aggressive. You're being a pain right now, acting in a terrible way.
When she realized her outburst hadn't impacted us in any way, her demeanor changed and tears flooded up.
Listen, okay? I feel awful. I feel so awful. There's so much hurt in me. I regret it so much. I never do it again. I tell you, okay? I'll tell you and maybe you'll understand. I'm only human after all.
We sat quiet.
It was a long day at work and I met the most terrible people. Also, I had to work with that bitch Vicky. She's such a pain in the fucking ass. Her boyfriend's cheating on her, did you know that? So I come home exhausted and irritated and my baby's upstairs, right? So I walk up and the damn thing is just screaming, taunting me. Doesn't it realize that I'm having a tough time? What has it done to act that way? It just laid on its back all day, so I grabbed her in a motherly way. I told her, Mama's here, everything's okay, Mama's here, please stop crying, it's hurting my ears, but the damn thing just won't stop. So I shook it, just lightly, to get the message through, but that only made her cry louder. At that moment, I just broke. It's all pitch black. I continued shaking the baby. Its head went up and down, and accidentally it hit the rim of the baby bed. I stopped then. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't mean any of it. Please, can I just see my family?
For as long as I can remember, all I've had is my mom. She taught me everything I need to know and has done so much to protect me. She's warned me about how dangerous the outside world is and told me all about what she has to go through to protect me. She risks her own safety by leaving the house to get our food and clothes. I don't leave, of course. I'm not as strong or as smart as her, so I have to stay in the house. I've never left. I'm lucky that she's generous enough to risk her life for me. I've never had friends either. She's warned me about how other people will try to hurt me, corrupt me, turn me against her. I'm not smart enough to protect myself from mental manipulation, as she calls it. So I know it's best to stay in the house and stick with her. She's all I have. She's been getting more tired recently. She says she has old bones and that being the mom 20 years wears a woman out. I felt bad that she was getting weaker because of me. She's done so much for me, and this is how I repay her? I tried to help her out whenever she needed it. I helped her get out of bed, wrote for her when she struggled to hold a pen, and helped with household chores. So when I saw her struggling to get down the stairs, I decided I should help with that too. I should have let her know I was there. She got startled when I grabbed her arm and quickly jerked away, tumbling down the stairs with a few wet, snapping sounds. She was still breathing at the time, but her knee was bent the wrong way and she was completely passed out. I wasn't sure how to help, but I figured she would need rest, so I dragged her to her bed. It's been a few weeks. She still hasn't woken up yet. I tried to save the last piece of fruit for her, but it grew white with mold, so I had to eat it myself. Good kids don't waste food. It's been a week and a half since the last piece of food's been gone. I can't go out to get food. I have to wait for her to wake up. It's too dangerous for me to go out there, and who will take care of Mom if I get hurt? Still, the stabbing pain in my stomach and the shakiness of my muscles is hard to ignore. I hope she wakes up soon. I'm so hungry I would eat almost anything. And all I have is my mom.